Well, apart from those benefits, many would say, yes, the protocol brought certainty. But what certainty is this? Certainty that 100% will be taxed in India. Is this the certainty we wanted? Yeah? So is this the certainty we wanted? On this point, some observers have been saying, well, we would have been better off waiting and not signing the protocol. The rationale behind this is that under the original treaty, Mauritius had the taxing rights on the sale of shares in an Indian company. But by signing this protocol, what Mauritius has effectively done is give away outright this taxing right as from 1st of April 2017. If the protocol was not signed, then at least the taxing rights would have been with Mauritius. The only issue with this is that if we didn't sign the protocol, GAR would apply, the General Anti-Avoidance Provision would apply, and GAR has the power to disregard structures out of Mauritius in circumstances where there was an inadequate substance in Mauritius. Whilst the uncertainty would have prevailed, at least Mauritius would have retained the taxing rights. However, if we go beyond the issue of whether we should sign the protocol or not, we should have signed the protocol or not, the point of whether Mauritius has got a good deal, I think it's a relative concept. What I mean by that, I think the protocol is only as good as what India already has in place or what India will have in place in the future. And to assess this, let's consider Mauritius' fiercest or closest competitor, which is Singapore. Singapore is now in a worse position than Mauritius because the treaty between Mauritius and Singapore are effectively linked. And to the extent that Mauritius has now signed a new protocol with India, the Singapore-India DTA now falls away and it's no longer valid. And if we look at other treaties which India has with other countries, for example, Indonesia, Korea, Philippines or Thailand, all these treaties still contains the old tax clause that Mauritius had with India. So does that mean that these countries would now become the preferred route into India? Also, if you look at other tax treaties, for example, with Belgium, France, Netherlands, or Spain, which contains a most favored nation clause, what the most favored nation clause is effectively it guarantees countries that to the extent that India negotiates a better rate with another country, this better rate will also be applicable. Does that mean we should also have got this MFN clause within our tax treaty? It's easy for me to stand here or to be here today in front of you and cherry pick the best out of each treaty and say, yes, we should have got this. As we all know, this was a negotiation process. I or you were not at the negotiating table. And I understand that this was hard negotiation. And there was even threats of potential termination of the treaty. So in these circumstances, I think we may well have been left with very little choice.